I was talking to someone the other day and they were asking me questions about my garden. They were talking about how big it was, and I was like, it's really not that big, y'all. So I promised them that I would give them a video tour, and I forgot who I was talking to. So everyone gets the benefit from this. I'm gonna give you a video tour of my garden as I record this. It is March 16th. Now, spring is in the air, everything is starting to grow, but there's still evidence of winter, right? Of death and decay, plants that died in the freeze, plants that are starting to grow, leaves are down, trees are still starting to grow their leaves, and I love this time of year. It's always a reminder to me, maybe I'm getting a little too philosophical here, but it always reminds me that spring is always around the corner. When things are hard, when things are tough, when there's trauma, there's always hope, there's always growth, there's always spring, right? Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about here in this video. I'm gonna walk you through my garden. Now, it's a very vulnerable moment. My garden is a mess. I haven't had a chance to clean it up from the winter. I've been a little bit unmotivated, to be honest with you. But as the weather's warming up, I'm getting a little bit more and more motivation to clean things up. So let's do this. Here we go. We'll start in the front yard, walking towards the backyard. Those are my sweet olive trees. They smell wonderful. It's already bloomed, but all these little buds smell unbelievable. It's on my front porch whenever I open the front door. The scent is amazing. The azaleas, this is Lauren Petalum, I love it. It creates like a wall of shade and a wall of privacy. As we enter, I built this little pergola last year, and I have Confederate jasmine growing on it. This will cover this entire pergola, and it'll grow these little white flowers, super fragrant. And over here we have a compost tumbler, making some dirt. This is kind of my plant hospital as things are recovering. This is Cuban oregano. I'll plant this here pretty soon. It'll take over this entire spot. It's my rain barrel. It's a dead tree. This is my salad bar. That's what I call it, but I don't need any salad from here. It doesn't grow that well. It's kale, spinach, and we have some thyme, rosemary that bloomed. Some more thyme right there. A little sitting area. There's the wall of Lauren Petalum. This is my plumeria. Can't wait for that to start growing again. Some artwork for my daughter. This is my dead bird of paradise. I don't think it's gonna come back. It's a rose bush. Fig ivy's doing great. It's taking over the entire wall. Put these mirrors in the backyard. It's a nice little feature. It's fun. And you can see my Monstera took a huge hit, y'all. All that, I had to cut all that off, but it's starting to come back. You can see some new shoots down there. Another mirror right there. Big old Monstera right there that I had to cut back almost completely. My rubber plant, spider ivy. This pothos, I'm sorry, it was huge. It just climbed up the tree, it froze, but it's starting to come back, which is exciting. More rose, you can see the Monstera, these shoots are starting to come back. Got a couple of those shoots, which is super exciting. My daughter planted something here, so I'm not sure. I think they're dahlias, some flowers. Blackberry vine starting to bloom. You can see we have some fruit. So it's doing pretty good. See my row of hollies. They're starting to do well. Last year we planted zinnias all along here. I don't know what we're gonna do this year there, but it looks like there's a bunch of zinnias popping up over here, so I don't remember planting those, so maybe I threw a bucket of seeds or something there. We'll see what we get. Some tiger lilies. More plants. I extended my garden here. So you see all this fresh dirt is new garden. So it's a mess. I gotta plant a bunch of things. Lime tree starting to come back. It's looking beautiful. We have some roses growing. They're growing all up in the trees, so I'm trying to cut them as they grow. After they bloom, I'll cut the vine back because I don't want it to kill or damage the tree. Then over here is all mint for my mojitos when I get limes. It's bay leaf, cook with that. We have some milkweed over here, butterfly weed. So we'll plant those in the ground when they get a little bit bigger. This is called Creeping Jenny. It's pretty cool. This is the avocado that I planted from seed. It's doing pretty well. It's a little less than a year old. I haven't decided if I'm gonna put that in the ground or not. This is a pineapple from the kitchen. I'll probably put that in the ground, not sure where. More tiger lily. Those are butterfly weed as well, milkweed. Just put this, oh, there's another mirror. Hey guys. I just planted this avocado in the ground, and then I'm gonna plant these 2 guava plants in the ground as well. So I have like a little bit of a tropical garden back here with these trees. I'm gonna keep them low, let them grow close, they'll protect each other. We have some milkweed, we have some salvia, it's a butterfly plant. This is called St. John's wort or St. Andrew's cross. It has these little, beautiful little yellow flowers. It's kind of ground bush, it'll stay low. Mango, struggling a little bit, but it's got some new growth, you can see. And the back fence over here, have more milkweed that started right there. 2 plants, and then that's a blackberry vine that I got planted. And you see the Katrina rose here is absolutely gorgeous. This is blowing up. We got some peppers right there. This plant's been around for a long time. It's almost probably the end of its life. Just bought these and planted these for the front porch. Love palms, absolutely beautiful. And then over here is our butterfly garden. This is a hibiscus that I just put in the ground about a week or so ago. There's salvia. These are all, the butterfly plants in the ground are all local to our area. There's some snapdragons. That is another variety of salvia. That's a sunflower, another sunflower. More salvia, a different variety. This is called a peacock kale. Got to cut that back. It's probably at the end of its life. This is verbena. It's absolutely gorgeous ground cover. I planted some thyme right there to cook with. And we have sage right here. More different variety of snapdragons. I'm not sure what this is. It's actually an indoor plant, it's struggling a little bit. I'll probably have to bring it in soon. And that's more salvia right here. And then got some bamboo, and then snake plant or mother-in-law's tongue. So that is the backyard. So I'll give you a bird's eye view, not a bird's eye view, but a view from the front all the way to the back. Those are all Indian hawthorns on those sides, just a shrub. Beware of tiny raptors. That was when we used to have chickens, and a sign that I bought my wife. You can't buy happiness, but you can marry a Cuban. It's kind of the same thing, right? Go on. All right, let's go check out the front yard or more of the side yard. Oh, no, actually before that, I'm gonna take you to my secret garden on the back side of this fence over here that I am working on. Now this is a mess, y'all. Super messy. About to plant some stuff in it. All right, so on the back side, you see the other side of the rows. So here we have some broccoli that's about to come out of the ground. That's some kale over there. It's broccoli that's flowered. The bees love it, so I'm gonna keep it for a little while longer. And all that those are all Creole shallots, green onions. So I'll cook with those. And I've got 2 peppers in the ground. One right here, these are jalapenos, and that's a habanero. And then we'll probably plant a bunch of flowers back here. This is calla lily that I pulled from the ground and put in pots. I'm giving most of it away to neighbors. This is my compost pile right there. And then here we have, I planted these poppies in the fall and didn't do well. You can see a bunch of them turned yellow. That's from the freeze. But here in the springtime, they've been blooming. They're absolutely gorgeous. The idea was to have all of that with orange flowers, but it didn't work out as planned. But you can see all these buds are starting to flower. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant. In the back behind it, this is all sugar cane. So there's more sugar cane right there, and then more sugar cane right here. The idea is to give shade to the garden in the summertime because it's real hot. You guys see there's more cane right there. And then I planted another stalk right here. It hasn't come out of the ground yet, so we're waiting. You can see over here I'm making more beds. So it's a great technique if you have grass. It's hard to pull the grass, so I'll put a cardboard on the ground, and that'll kill the grass and also create just a really good environment for a really wet environment for little bugs, and they'll start breaking down the dirt, organic matter. And what I'll do is I'll just put dirt and build the garden right on top of the cardboard. This is my teepee. harvested some bamboo in a ditch nearby, and then I'm planting, those are snap peas and beans, and then this is also a vining tomato, cherry tomatoes. So those are gonna grow up the teepee, and it's gonna be really, really beautiful and delicious. And you can see I'm just making more beds over here. I'm gonna plant some corn and some other flowers, maybe some more carrots, and more broccoli if it's not too late. And then I've also put a bunch of leaves here. I'm just composting wherever I have space. I'm composting inside the teepee. I'm not sure about that. That might backfire on me. It might be too wet of an environment for the peas. It might attract slugs and snails, and they'll eat my stuff, but we'll see. We'll test it. All right, that's the back. Let's go check out the front. All right, so that's the backyard. Let's go to the front. It's a little less exciting, but here's my azaleas. I love azaleas. Now my grass is almost, it's half weeds, half grass. Lawns are the most unsustainable part of the garden. If we get down, you can see all this stuff. If I keep it cut, it looks fine. But when it starts growing, it looks real ratty and funky. But I just hate using so many chemicals in the yard. It's such an unsustainable part of the garden. So I just decided to live with weeds. It's my asparagus fern right there, or foxtail fern, I'm sorry. Foxtail fern, love this thing, it's beautiful. And I'll put those 2 palm trees on the back on either side of the steps. More azaleas, check this out. This stuff is nasty funky. This is a fungus that's grown on my wood chips. And good thing about fungus is it helps decay rotting matter. It helps rot organic matter, so it really helps turn leaves and this wood into compost. But it smells kind of funky if you disturb it. But stuff is all over. My wife hates it. I can see why. It's kind of funky and nasty, but it's dying out. And you can see those type of spring lilies or Easter lilies that are growing. I think I planted those last year. I just took a bunch of leftovers, maybe from church or something, and planted them. You can see this is kind of funky. It's coming back. This is Agapanthus, or lily of the Nile. So we'll have a bunch of these beautiful leaves and grow these beautiful white and purple flowers. I'm sorry. More azaleas. Here we go. These are all camellias. These have never really done well. They're kind of thin, but anyway. This is my persimmon. I just planted this a couple weeks ago. I was a little worried about it because it was just a stick for a while, but you can see here that this is new growth just in the last 2 days. It's starting to bloom. It's a delicious fruit. So all these little nodes are starting to blossom. So it's gonna be beautiful. It's another sweet olive. It smells delicious. Here we go, this is my Satsuma. I'm super excited about this plant here. It's like a mandarin. You see all the flowers, all the buds. This thing hopefully is gonna be full of fruit. Hopefully each one of those little flowers or those buds will turn into fruit. That is the hope. I'll be eating Satsuma, look at that. Oh my gosh. I'll be eating Satsuma for days. And then we have, this is a lemon tree, a Meyer lemon tree. It lost all its leaves in the freeze, so all that's new growth. Oops, sorry. There we go, all that's new growth. So I don't know if I'm gonna get any fruit on it this season, maybe. In fact, it hasn't fruited yet. We're about like 2 or 3 seasons into its life since I've had it here. So it should be fruiting pretty soon. And then over here we have, this is a thing called Mexican petunia. It's beautiful. It'll grow real tall, purple flowers. I got some weeds here, but then there's also this, it's a wild, I think it's a wild daffodil. It's beautiful purple flower. And that's calla lily. It has a beautiful bright orange flower. And then you can see more poppies right here. More of that wild daffodil. And then I have a lantana that I planted here last year. I don't know if it's gonna come back. I'll cut it back, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, that is my yard. Hope you enjoyed it.